Oh, what's going on, guys? EK9 here, bringing you guys another video. So as you guys can see, we do have the current playoff format on our screen, and the reason for this is I'm going to give my 2020 second round predictions. I know it's a little late for me to do this because Colorado and Dallas already played, but the only reason I thought I'd post is because the team that won last night is not the team I picked to win the series, so I don't think it really affects anything too much. But anyways, let's get into this. We got four awesome matchups here. We got the Vegas Golden Knights and the Vancouver Canucks. We got the Colorado Avalanche and the Dallas Stars, the Philadelphia Flyers and the New York Islanders, and the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Boston Bruins. So we'll start in the Western Conference with Vegas and Vancouver. So the battle of the V's here. I definitely think Vegas is going to take this series. I think Vancouver played very well against St. Louis, the defending Cup champions. They didn't let that get to them. They played really good hockey. They're a young, upcoming group, but I don't think they have the experience that it takes to take down these Golden Knights. These Golden Knights have looked good all playoff long, winning all of their round-robin games against the Blues, Stars, and Avalanche. So they are looking like a top team. They look very tough to beat. They've got so much offense, and what makes them so good is their transition game. If you guys watch them play, Vegas is a very good transition team. I hate Vegas. I can't stand them as a Shark fan, but I have to admit they are a very good hockey team, and they look probably the best they've looked since they made the finals and lost to Washington. They got Pacioretty, they got Stone, Carlson, Stastny. They've got great defensive players in McNabb. They got Schmidt. Great goaltending in both Lehner and Marc-Andre Fleury. They're coached by the former San Jose Sharks coach, Pete DeBoer, and I think DeBoer's got them right in the right system, just like he did when he was coaching in San Jose and he made the finals of his first year. I definitely think that's a possibility with him with this Vegas Golden Knights team. Now, the Canucks do have a really good upcoming team. Besser, they got Patterson, they got Bo Horvat, who's playing phenomenal as well. They've got a pretty decent team defensively. They're not too bad. Great goaltending in Markstrom too. I'm waiting for Thatcher Demko to finally get the call up, probably in the next few seasons. So they're going to be a really good team for time to come. However, I don't think Vancouver has the experience, and I don't think Vancouver has the depth to carry on against this Vegas team. St. Louis looked a little beaten up. They didn't look as strong as they did. They actually lost their first 5 playoff games this year, so they're the first team to ever do that because of COVID. I think that they lacked quite a bit. You watch them in their games. When they played Vegas in that round robin, they lost 6-4. They were outshot something like 40-16, and they didn't look good. They didn't look like a good team. They looked like they were struggling internally. I don't know what happened with them, but they weren't as good as I projected. But they're out now. I think Vancouver took advantage of that, but I don't think Vancouver's going to find that same momentum in this series, and that's why I have Vegas in 5. With Colorado and Dallas, we did see the game last night. Dallas ended up winning 5-3. They played a very good game, and the reason why I think Dallas ended up pulling that first win is because a different matchup that Colorado's getting themselves into, and I think Colorado underestimated the Dallas Stars on a lot of aspects. The Dallas Stars are an offensive juggernaut. They've got Pavelski, they got Ben, they got Radulov, they got Sagan. They've got some really good offensive players. They got Rupe Hintz, a few others as well, Corey Perry. They've got a lot of depth on that team. But what separates them from the Arizona Coyotes, and that's who Colorado played the series before, is that Dallas is a very young defensive core. They've got Heiskanen, they've got John Klingberg, a few others, but they're younger players and they're quicker. They're more agile. They can move around a lot quicker. They're more mobile. And what cost Arizona that series, and I don't want to say cost because I think they were going to lose, but one of the big determining factors is the Colorado Avalanche abused their age and abused their speed. Colorado was a much quicker team getting into that offensive zone. The defense were struggling for Arizona. If it wasn't for Quemper, that team didn't. I don't even think they even won a game if it wasn't for Quemper. I mean, they did play that one really good game in Game 2. They ended up losing that one, but that was probably the only game where they should have legitimately won. Quemper stole a game by himself. He had like 50 saves. But aside from that, this Dallas Stars team is going to be a little bit of a different matchup for them, a little bit speedier on the defensive side, and I think that's what showed last night. Is it's that different style of game, and the team structure for Dallas is much different. However, I do think Colorado's going to rebound. I don't see them going down without a fight here. I see them coming back. I think this series goes 6 games, and I think Colorado's going to take it. I don't see McKinnon, Landeskog, Kadri, all of the guys, Burakovsky, Donskoy. They've got really good defense. Makar, Sammy Girard, Zadorov. They got Ian Cole, Eric Johnson, two decent goalies in Grubauer and Francouz. I don't see this team. They've got one of the best depth in the NHL going down without a fight, and I like the Dallas Stars. They're a decent team. I can't see them beating these Avalanche, even though they did win one game. I think it's because the Avalanche weren't prepared for it, and I think they come back next game, and I think they're gonna win. I got this in 6, and I got it to Colorado. Let me know your guys' thoughts. If you guys think I'm wrong, don't hesitate to let me know your opinions. In the Eastern Conference, we have the #1 Philadelphia Flyers against the #6 New York Islanders. And this is a very, very tough series to break down. When I watched Philly in their 3 round robin games, I said this team's going to the Cup. This team's phenomenal. I don't know what it is about them, but they are looking fantastic. They looked amazing. However, when I watched them play Montreal, I don't know if it's because Montreal was really good. They were a 12 seed. I'm not sure. I looked at it and I said this team sucks. I think they got outplayed by Montreal. I think Montreal Montreal outscored them in the series. Philadelphia has still to have any of their big names score rather than Voracek. I think Hayes scored the other night. But this team, they need to get the puck in the net, and they need their top guys to do it. Konechny needs to get on the board. A few others need to start scoring. Giroux needs to get on the board. This team here, if they're going to do any type of damage, they're going to need to start scoring, and it's going to have to stop coming from just Voracek alone. They've ran into some problems. They looked, like I said, they looked unreal in their 3 round robin games. They played phenomenal against Boston. They played unreal against Tampa. Tampa ended up, coming back in the second and third, but that first period, they dominated them the entire period. Then in the second and third, Tampa Bay kind of rebounded, and against Washington, they looked unbelievable. But if they bring that same type of energy that they brought against Montreal, I can't see them beating the Islanders. And I think that's the question that we have to ask ourselves is this going to be the Philly team that played against Montreal, or is this going to be the Philly team that played against the 3 top seeds in the Eastern Conference? And if it's that they play the top 3 the same way they did, they're going to win in 5. But if they play the same way that they played against Montreal, they're down in 6. I think the Islanders are a team that are definitely underrated. They've got a lot of talent there. They're great coached. Barry Trotz is a phenomenal coach. They've got a great GM in Lou Lamoriello. They're definitely on the right track. They look like they're getting better and better each year, and they've done it without John Tavares, who is their superstar. They've managed to do it without him. They got Matt Barzal now. They are in a complete different thing. I still think Philly's going to take this series, but I'm gonna call it in a different way from the 2 scenarios I said it's going to be I think it's going to be a really tight series, and I think it's going to be Philly in 7. That's my call here. I think Philly takes this series in 7. If they play the same way against Montreal, though, I don't think they're going to win the series. But as for now, just calling it as it is, Philly in 7. And last but not least, we got Tampa Bay and Boston. Probably the most even matchup possible. These 2 teams are neck and neck in skill. These teams are very evenly matched. They play each other a lot, and they're always the 2 top teams usually in the Eastern Conference. So this is going to be a very, very good series to watch. They played each other a few times, and this time around, I think Boston, they look good in the series against Carolina. They didn't look so good in the round robin. They struggled. Tampa Bay looked unreal against Columbus. A lot of you might say, well, Columbus wasn't that good, but I think Columbus played with a lot of heart, and I think they played with a lot of skill, and they really wanted to beat Tampa. They wanted to make a statement that they did it 2 years in a row. They ended up losing in 5, but I think that this is going to be a really, really tough series to predict. This is probably the toughest one to try and call. I'm going to go with my gut, though, and I'm going to say that Tampa's offense is better than Boston's offense. However, Boston's defense is better than Tampa's defense. Um, and usually I pick defense over offense, but I'm not this time. I'm going to say the Tampa Bay Lightning are going to win this series. I think it's going to come down to a couple of things like goaltending. I think Vasilevsky's going to play really good. He didn't play as good as I thought he would against Columbus. I think he's going to rebound. I think he's going to show his true potential. I think he's going to steal a few games here, and I think he's going to get in the heads of the Bruins. I think this team's going to win in 7. I think it's Tampa Bay in 7. So I've got, based on my predictions, Vegas is going to be playing Colorado, and Philly and Tampa. I'm going with all the favorites. I'm probably going to be wrong on a couple of them because the favorites don't always win. But I don't think that there's going to be really any blowout series. I don't think it's going to be someone in 5 or, well, rather than Vegas. I think Vegas is going to steamroll Vancouver. I think most of these series are going 6 or 7 games. I think this is the time where we're starting to see that it's really starting to separate from who are the best teams in the NHL and who aren't. And when you had the 24 teams, there's quite a bit of skill difference. But I think now that we're getting closer, it's going to really show that these teams are pretty evenly matched. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me know your thoughts, guys. Let me know what you think. Do you think that I'm wrong on these picks? Would you go with these picks? And just, yeah, let me know. If you guys did enjoy this video, though, make sure to leave a like. And if you haven't subscribed already, guys, hit that subscribe button. We're at 350 subs now. We're going to do something special for 400 subs. Let's try and get there for October. And thank you guys so much for the support. See you guys soon.